things, they're a bit...
Now we have a family of 6 coati who live in this enclosure, and they're all currently fast asleep in the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to yell out their names, hopefully they can hear me, and they'll come out and join us. So, if you keep your eyes on the big green doors at the back there, we are looking for Rosie, Jimmy, Bertie, Brush, Frankie and Lola. Here they come. And as you can see, the first thing most of them have done is go straight up a tree. Now these guys are perfectly suited for living in the trees. They've got big sharp claws to help them grip hold of the bark. They've got these long bushy tails which helps them keep balance as they climb along the branches. But they also have an unusual feature. They have reversible ankle joints. Now it sounds a bit odd, but it means that what the coati can do is he can turn his back feet round and come down a tree head first. Now a lot of animals can't do this. If any of you have got a cat at home, you've probably seen it go straight up a tree and then get stuck. Now that's because he can't turn his back feet round and would have to come down tail first, which animals don't like doing. But coatis and squirrels, they're all very good at doing this. Now coatis are also very good on the ground as well. As you can see, they've got a very long pointy nose. Now these guys have got a very good sense of smell. It's so good that they can smell worms and bugs just beneath the surface of the ground. So what they do, they roam around on the forest floor, press their nose to the ground, and as soon as they smell a worm, they use their big claws and dig it up and eat it. Also, while they're on the ground, their tail comes in handy as well. Where they're from, the Amazon rainforest, there's obviously a lot of plants and undergrowth growing on the floor, and when you're only this big, it's very difficult to see each other when you're roaming around on the floor. So what you do, especially when you're a youngster, you wander around on the floor and you stick your tail in the air. That way everyone can see where you are. Now we have 6 coati in here. I'll introduce them all to you. The eldest one and the mum of all the others, her name is Rosie. She's sort of in the middle, sniffing around by the tree there. She's 12 years old now. Coatis would live to about 16, so we've still got many years left of Rosie. Now her eldest son, his name is Jimmy. He's the one just crossing the branches now, hanging upside down. Jimmy is her eldest son. He's 7. He's known as the gentle giant. He's bigger than all the others in here, and he's a very calm, very quiet animal. Next in line, however, are the terrible twosome, Bertie and Brush. They're 3-year-olds, they're both boys, and if there's any trouble to be had in here, you can guarantee that it's going to be Bertie and Brush who are causing it. And then at the bottom of the pile we have the very lovely Frankie and Lola, our 2 twin girls. They're only 1.5 years now, slightly smaller than the others, but the best way to tell them apart is that while they're on the ground, they have their tails in the air. Now you probably noticed I didn't mention Dad. Dad's name is Quito. He is here in the zoo, but he's not here in this enclosure. And what we're doing is we're actually simulating what happens in the wild. In the wild, coatis live in groups of up to 60 individuals, and these groups are run by the women. What happens is, as soon as the men grow up, they wander away, and they live a solitary life. They only come back to the group to breed. So we're doing this with Quito, and he's currently elsewhere in the zoo, living a bachelor lifestyle with his brother Basil. Now coatis are members of the raccoon family. You might all be familiar with the black and white raccoon of North America. These are their South American cousins. Now these guys aren't endangered in the wild, and in fact they're doing very well. So well that their range has increased. They've made their way up from the Amazon rainforest, up through Mexico, and they can now be found in the USA. They've actually been spotted as far north as San Francisco. Now this means that they've come into contact with their raccoon cousins, and they're doing exactly the same things as raccoons. They're rummaging through people's bins, standing outside McDonald's waiting for a free burger, but they're not actually competing with raccoons. The main reason for this is that raccoons are nocturnal, which means they come out at night, whereas coati are diurnal, which means they come out during the day. So although they're doing the same stuff in the same place, they're not doing it at the same time. Now these guys are going to be roaming around for a few more minutes trying to find all the food that we've hidden in this enclosure. If anyone's got any questions, please come up and ask. We know most things. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of this rather lovely day here at the zoo.